everyone. Today I'm going to answer some of your questions. One of your questions was, when did I start traveling? I started traveling when I was 17 years old. I dreamed about traveling since my childhood. There was a huge map in my room, and on winter evenings I would draw on it with a pencil, imagining that I was driving all along these roads. And also I like the sound of the train humming. This sound awakened in me an inexplicable feeling of melancholy. Perhaps then I decided I will leave and travel. Your second question is, how did you convince your parents about your traveling decision? I didn't convince my parents to let me go on the trip. I just felt that if I didn't leave, I would stop fighting and lose my taste for life. Therefore, I bought a train ticket to St. Petersburg secretly from my parents in order to enter the university there without their permission. And after that, when I studied at that university, I met a lot of interesting people, a lot of travelers, and I started to travel with them by hitchhiking, and I explored a lot of things. Of course, my parents wasn't happy at the beginning. Of course, they were worried about my lifestyle, but after they saw that I'm happy, and for parents, the most important thing that they can see that their child is happy, and then they saw that I'm really happy. They said, okay, do what you feel you should do. One of you wrote me like, you traveled 4 years, how it's possible? Didn't you feel homesick? Yes, of course, sometimes I felt homesick, and I missed my parents a lot, and I still miss them because I don't see them often. But it is my life. When I travel, I feel happy. My home is there I live, where I feel comfortable. I leave pieces of my heart in different countries, and then these countries become my home, and I start miss them, and I want to come back there again. So yes, I feel homesick, but I don't know exactly where is my home, because my home is everywhere. Another question is, what is your favorite place you have visited? It's hard to say which place is your favorite, because I like each place in its own way, because in some place there is the most beautiful language, in some the most beautiful mountains, in some of the most friendliest people, in some of the most kindest people, and you love each place for its own way. For example, my favorite country for non-stop travel is Myanmar, and my favorite country for life is China. But of course, there are places that have sunk into my heart deeper than others. For example, Phang Nga province in Thailand, or Zhangjiajie mountains in China. These places are so beautiful. I love them. Also, you asked me about my incomes and how I travel. But first of all, I want to say that in fact you don't need a lot of money to live in travelings. Because, for example, I travel by hitchhiking and I sleep in houses with locals, or I sleep in tent, and money for food and visas can be earned in any countries, and there it is easy to find a job when you travel. So for example, I worked at exhibitions as a journalist assistant. I was a waiter also, and now I'm teaching languages. And about my lifestyle, I cannot live without travelings and without nature. If I live in metropolitan areas for a long time, I feel bad. I need to go to wild places with a tent. I need to hitchhike to communicate with people. I need to learn new language and the culture of a new country, and I need to write books. This is my passion. And about my books, they are not available in English right now, but I am I'm translating it right now, so it will be available soon. Thank you very much for watching this video, and ask me some more questions and I can answer them later.